Welcome back to another Game Day Goons NBA season previews. I'm your host, Exclusive, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Golden State Warriors. So let's get right into it. Now, we all know there was a big transaction for Golden State this offseason. Some people said it didn't really make sense, and some people are all for it. But they brought in longtime NBA superstar point guard Chris Paul. With that dynamic on the team, I feel it's going to be good for them. I don't know who you slide to the bench. I don't know how they're going to run it. But I would love to see CP come off the bench and help the bench guys like Jonathan Kuminga and Moody and some of those other young guys maybe get into form a little bit better. He's a player that can make his teammates better. We've seen it in the past, and I'm confident that he can do that for this team. Some other players that they brought in is Corey Joseph, Jerome Robinson, Dario Saric, and Usman Garbuda. Did I say that right? Sorry, sir. I don't know if I got your name right, but Usman. He's on the team too. And they also drafted Brandon Podensky with the 19th overall pick, which honestly, this kid looks great. His summer league showing was fantastic. He looks like he's going to be one of those triple-double threats, something like a Josh Giddey. So look out for him in the next couple of years. You already know how Golden State develops their guys. It's a little bit slower. Look at Jonathan Kuminga. He's just now about to get some playing time, and he's a third-year player on their team. So look out for Podensky. He's going to be very good, but you might not see too much of him this year. Now, some of the players that left that you might have remembered from last year: Patrick Baldwin Jr., Dante DiVincenzo, Rudy Gay, I don't think he was there for too long. Ty Jerome, Pool Party himself, Mr. Get Punched in the Face, sorry about that, and Ryan Hollins. But there's one thing I just want to spend not a lot of time on, but we got to give a lot of credit and a lot of shout outs to our boy Andre Iguodala. He retired. He's saying that he needs a new hip, some new knees, a new wrist. So, he's just calling it quits. He had an incredible career, drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, later moved over to Golden State, where he has become a staple and like a fan favorite on their team. He was helpful in their championship. He got an MVP because he locked down LeBron James real good. So, let's shout out our boy Iggy. Incredible career. Now let's get back into it. I want to talk about their projected wins for the season. They have a over and under of 48.5 wins. Now, last year, Golden State was 44-38, and that was enough to lock them in the 6th spot in the Western Conference. With their projection of 48.5, I don't see them making it over that, to be honest, but I don't think they're going to need to make it over that to solidify themselves into the playoffs. So if you're asking me as a betting man, I'm probably taking the under on that. I think they're going to push out anywhere from 46 to 48 wins. I think 49 to 51 is a little bit of a stretch in that Western Conference. Some of their fantasy relevant players. Now, we all know that for the last couple years, they've had a top 10 player consistently in Steph Curry, sometimes even being the number one guy. What he does on the floor is incredible. Last year, he had averages of 29.4 points a game, 6.1 rebounds a game, 6.3 assists, and he did it all with getting 1 steal for you as well. He led the league last year with 4.9 threes made a game. 4.9 threes made a game. That's like 5 threes made a game pretty much. And that's like 15 points alone just off of his 3-point shooting. He's a phenomenal talent. We had a debate one time earlier on, Magic or Steph. A lot of people chose Magic, but hey, I'm going with Steph's size. Yeah, he's a little bit shorter, but I love everything he does on the court. He keeps moving, he keeps running, and I'm thinking he's going to be a top 10 finisher in fantasy again this year, as long as he can stay healthy. Their next relevant fantasy player guy is CP3. Last year, CP3 played 59 games for the Phoenix Suns, where he averaged 13.9 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, and 5th best in the league at 8.9 assists a game. I don't think he's going to do all of that again on Golden State this year, and he has an ADP of 74.6. I'm thinking he might not exceed it. I think it's going to probably be a little behind because there's just so much pieces on this Warrior team, and I'm not sure if he's going to get enough usage to make it make sense to draft him so early in your draft. Another fantasy relevant player that the Warriors do have is Klay Thompson. He has an ADP of 81.6. Last year, Klay Thompson played 69 games and he boasted averages of 21.9 points a game. And he was second behind his Splash brother in three-pointers made per game at 4.4. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to get you some threes and points, Klay definitely your guy. But I honestly, I don't see him doing too much more for your team. So if you do need other categories you're trying to lock in, maybe Klay's not the guy to pick in the 7th, 8th round. Maybe if you can get him in the 9th, 10th, which I'm doubting. But hey, try a thing. The next fantasy relevant player that the Warriors have is Andrew Wiggins. He boasts an ADP of 93. Last year, he didn't play a lot of games. I think he was dealing with a lot of family issues and some ailing injuries. He only was suited up for 37 games, but in those 37 games, he averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 steal. I expect Wiggins to do pretty much the same thing this year. I think the addition of CP3 will help him. Maybe if they can get those two on the second unit together, you might see Wiggins doing 20-plus points in the second unit. I like it. I think it could be good for them. I just think in the starting lineup, you just have so much people, and so much people need touches that it might be a little bit too much for Wiggins to exceed a 93 ADP. And the last guy I'll talk about, just because it's one of my favorites, he's a utility knife type of guy, and that's Draymond Green. He has an ADP of 101.7. Last year, he played an astonishing 73 games. 73 games, and people talk about he doesn't show up, but he played 73 games last year, and what he did in that was 8.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.8 assists a game with 1 steal, 1 block, and he shoots over 50% from the field. He's a great player to have. Look for him in the 9th, 10th rounds. He's definitely somebody that can glue your whole entire team together. I would definitely suggest it. Now, let's look at the Golden State Warriors outlook for the 2023-2024 season. The West, it's a wild, wild West, man. It's out there. You never know what you're going to get. Last year, there was a stretch where I think teams 4 to teams 9 were only separated by a game and a half. Like, that's an incredible thing. Like, every day the standings change. Every day the standings can change. So I think they will definitely be a playoff team. I don't think they'll be in the play-in. I think they'll solidify themselves in the playoffs. And they'll have definitely a good run to the finals. I'm not saying they're finalists because that West is stacked. But you can never count out Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. That core has done it for us for the last decade, and we love them for it because they've given us incredible basketball. So that is my outlook on the Golden State Warriors. I'm your host, Exclusive. Please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to like. And please be sure to check out our sponsors, Tenamint. That's Tenamint. They do a lot of fantasy sports stuff, and I believe they have a contest going on right now. Go look for them. Tap in. Game Day Goons. We out.